Ignore this. Ignore it. Don't even, okay? Don't even. All right? Anyway. What's going on, guys? My name is Brian, also known as That Journaling Guy, and happy 2024. I'm excited for the new year, for new videos, for new interactions, for new guides and reviews. I'm excited for all of it. But today, we're here to talk about what I'm really excited for this year, and it's more traveling. Okay, I went to the Philadelphia Pen Show, the first pen show of the pen show circuit. There's a bunch of pen shows. Actually, surprisingly, I saw a long list. Like, look at this. There's a lot of pen shows. Specifically in this video, though, I feel like in the channel, we've really discussed pen show tips, mostly for like bigger shows. So I'm kind of want to make a video for smaller shows because, to be honest, a lot of the experiences we talk about on this channel specifically are for the bigger shows, something like the Washington, D.C. show, which is the biggest show. And I kind of want to get your expectations in order, okay? So we'll talk more about that, but I want to talk a little bit about the experience that I had, what I saw at the pen show. We'll have some clips throughout the video, but we're going to talk about the tips that are specifically meant for small pen shows. Tip number 1, don't plan out a full trip for a pen show. And what I mean by that is don't plan on leaving like the state or booking a hotel or booking a flight across the country to visit a pen show. Mostly because they're small, okay? Like, unless you're planning on going to the city that they're based in and visiting tourist attractions, restaurants, or meeting other friends that are interested in the hobby, if you're only going for the pen show, a lot of these pen shows can be done in maybe an hour to 2 hours. And if you take your time and go super slow, maybe you can stretch it out for 3 hours, but you're definitely not going to be spending 3 consecutive days seeing the same thing. Again, unless you are there to socialize, to be really part of the community, to talk to people, to learn about specific things. It's going to be hard. If you're just going for the sake of seeing the pens, a lot of it's going to be covered relatively quickly. You're going to see a lot of things over and over on the same days. It's the same vendors, it's the same people pretty much. So unless you're going to the city and you have other plans, maybe don't plan out a full trip for the show. And that's excluding things like the DC show, the San Francisco show, and maybe the Dallas show. I think those are the 3 biggest, from what I'm told, and from what I know, that you could probably plan out an entire trip just for those shows. Number 2, take advantage of the workshops and the demos and like the panels that they offer at the smaller shows. So due to the smaller scale, some shows offer kind of like hands-on workshops and demonstrations that are just going to provide a deeper understanding of your fountain pens and your arts and your papers and your inks. Make sure to check the schedule on the website to see what workshops you can find at your pen show. For example, at the Philadelphia Pen Show, they had things like vintage pens for modern pen users. They had an introduction to fountain pens, and they had a creative journaling class, essentially. Some of them may cost money, others could be free. I was seeing prices from $65 all the way down to $25. I know that there was pen show tours that you could take, sort of like a guided tour, if you know nothing about pen shows, that you could sign up for, that were absolutely free. So these are things that you could more easily take advantage of because it's going to be in a more intimate environment due to the smaller scale of the pen show. Tip number 3. Smaller shows often foster a sense of community. This is the biggest one, okay? Use the opportunity to network, connect with other attendees, with the vendors, with the people who go there to trade their own pens. You're going to discover really niche communities and probably some online communities that you could join. In a smaller setting, you have to take advantage of the more intimate interactions that you can have with vendors. Take the time to engage in conversations, ask about their products, learn more about the unique stories behind their brand. Use this as a chance to learn about their creative processes, inspirations, and even the stories behind their creations. If you're going to start going to these shows often, what you're going to realize is that you're just going to see a lot of reoccurring faces. Introduce yourself. It's really nice when you go to a show and you don't feel like you're there alone, and you can meet people and you guys can walk the show together. I think personally, going to a fountain pen show with somebody and sharing that experience is always a more fun time where you guys can kind of geek out about stationery. So 100% just really take advantage of the more intimate setting that you're going to be a part of, and become friends with people. I know, it's crazy. And like, one of the biggest things that I see about people not wanting to go to the shows is that they're shy. And, you know, I understand that that's kind of like a social anxiety that's been baked in, especially with things like the pandemic. But these are the opportunities, especially as an adult, where you can go out and find people that you have things in common with. Find people that are interested in what you're interested in. Hang out, bring your pens, bring your notebooks, swap pens, swap inks, hang with the people that want to be there. You know, they want to experience the same things you want to experience, and you should take full advantage of the smaller scale of these shows to do that. My fourth tip is check the locals. So first, smaller shows may not have a lot of pre-event publicity. So what you should do first is probably research a little bit on like social media, on their website, to discover like any hidden gems. But smaller pen shows often showcase regional or local pen makers. It may feature like local artisans who handcraft pen accessories, inks, and papers, and you could explore these booths for unique region-specific finds. This is your opportunity to talk to smaller manufacturers and artisans who usually bring prototypes or experimental pens to kind of test the waters with their audience. It's a really unique opportunity to collect pens that reflect the craftsmanship and style of the specific area or community. For example, Ian Schoen from Schoen Designs, he is based out of Philadelphia. Always love seeing him. He's one of the nicest pen makers, pen individuals in the community, the superstar of pen making right now. He's really nice, okay? Really nice to talk to. You can go up and talk to him about anything. But what he likes to do and tends to do is he'll usually bring some kind of new product to let people try out. But yeah, he'll bring like prototypes or things that he's thinking of bringing out to market to let people try out. I think it's one of the coolest booths to visit at whatever pen show I go to. He's one of the nicest guys. Absolutely obsessed with the pens now. I'm saving up for a Monarch nib and one of his pen bodies, because that nib it writes amazingly. And now that he put it out in fine, I am obsessed. It's just a little out of my price range right now, but I am going to get one of those pens this year. That is the goal. That is one of the pens that I'm going to get. I'm going to get a Monarch nib. Okay, I just want that nib. The nib is the most important thing. I love it. Look at the wings on this sweater. It's a big sweater. Don't judge me. Regardless, really take advantage of the local community that you find at these pen shows. You can try out a lot of cool things. They're usually super nice, but take advantage of it. Number 5, for my final tip of this video, is you need to manage your expectations. Okay, that is the most important tip that I could give you, and I know it's at the end. They're smaller shows. They don't usually take up more than one ballroom or like one room at a time. You're gonna be disappointed if you're expecting to see things like the DC Pen Show or the San Francisco Pen Show. Unfortunately, you need to recognize that the smaller pen shows offer a more intimate and cozy experience. That's what you need to reframe your perspective to. Instead of expecting a vast array of vendors and traders and products, appreciate the opportunity for the deeper connection with exhibitors, artisans, and even other fellow enthusiasts. Use this smaller scale to engage in the community and engage in meaningful conversations. Ask detailed questions. Uncover the stories behind the pens and the accessories. Embracing the intimacy of the small show is the most important tip of this entire video. Realize that this is still a relatively niche community and hobby, and it's growing every year, but it's still probably not as big as, like, you know, the anime cons, the video game cons. Those are huge. So manage your expectations, please. Okay, I'll give you an idea of how the room looked here. Like, this was the entire pen show. This was the entire Philadelphia Pen Show. What you're seeing right now is what we had. And like I said, I got through the first round in less than an hour. And in total, I spent about 3 hours there. And I didn't even see myself like spending the night. There's definitely pen show after dark where you can hang out with friends. But I had other commitments, unfortunately. If you take the opportunity to do that, I'm sure you will have a blast. But definitely manage your expectations. Now, something I would like to mention is I also got this. Mango sorbet, and yes, that is the only thing I picked up at the show. I wasn't really looking for anything in specific. I was going with a friend to help her pick up her first Pilot Vanishing Point, and we got really lucky because there was a discount, so she's now in love with fountain pens and, you know, happily ever after. But right now, I'm not specifically looking for anything. I'm going more to interact with people, to talk with others. I had a really good time at the pen show, like I always do. Everybody's so nice. The environment is so cozy. I do wish I could have spent a little more time. What I'm realizing is if the show says 10 to 5, you could expect people to start packing up around 3. Okay, just so you know, not a lot of people are actually going to stay there till 5. I think it was around 3:30. People are already packing up their stuff. They're trying to get out. They're trying to leave, especially because it was cold and it was snowy. So it was a little bit shitty. I get it. But it also happened at the DC show. Don't go towards the edge of the show. It's not worth it. You're going to miss out on a lot because a lot of tables are going to be packed up and closed off. So that was just another random little tip. I had such a good time. Okay, it was really cool. And the other thing is, this show, because of its intimate nature, I was sitting down at a table where I was introduced to flex nibs. Yes, I knew of them. Yes, I've seen them. But playing with them was a whole different story. I am in fucking love right now with flex nibs. And I was talking to a guy named Nick. This is his Instagram. His name is Entropy Inc. on Instagram. So I'll post it here so you guys could go check him out. He does calligraphy. And he's super, super knowledgeable about flex nibs. And honestly, I spent like half an hour talking to him. He was telling me about how modern flex nibs really aren't worth it. The type of investment for a good gold nib on a flex is probably going to last me years or even a lifetime, that the new steel nibs aren't as good. He was giving me the rundown, and I saw his work. He kind of had a notebook in the front, and I am obsessed. Okay, enough that I kind of want this to be my next challenge. Like, I want to learn calligraphy, real calligraphy, not hand lettering, calligraphy, because it looked, oh God, amazing. I'm going to try to show you some of his work, actually. A lot. Okay, it's gorgeous. Those are the two things I left with from the show. The huge desire to buy a vintage flex nib and to get the monarch nib. Those two things I'm obsessed with now. And kind of when I laser focus in on something, I have a really bad tendency to go all out and hyper focus on getting that done or learning that or dedicating. Listen, I don't think it's ADHD. No, I just listen, mind your business. First of all, yeah. Anyway, that's all the tips that I have for the smaller pen shows. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for coming along with me on this little vlog / trip / tips. I hope you gained something, and I cannot wait for all the videos that I'm making for you guys this year. Genuinely so excited. If you got this far, let's leave a little fountain pen in the comment section so that I know you reached it to the end. You're a real one. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.